Hi there, it's Holly and welcome to this month's Patreon video. So the last couple of videos that I've been putting out have been about watercolour paints and how to use them. So I thought I'd do something a bit different this month and talk about alcohol markers. I find that alcohol markers are a little bit misunderstood, so I hope by making this video I could show you a bit of my technique and how I tend to use them. So as with any of my drawings or artworks, it starts off with pencil sketch, and I've done some of the areas with these Prismacolor pencils because they're going to be bits where they're going to have coloured outlines over the top rather than just black outlines. I thought it's worth mentioning here as well that although I am using the chameleon markers for a large portion of this video, I also use these Winsor Newton Pro markers. I've got some cheap alcohol markers that I just bought off Amazon as well, and I find all of them work perfectly well. You'll usually get a bit more ink in the more expensive ones, so the cheaper ones tend to run out a little bit quicker, but other than that you could just kind of use anything. Having a large range of colours does seem to be a bonus. So here I've got some that are a whole set of just different types of grey. So the way that I like to work is by building up the colours starting from light and then going towards dark, mostly because this will help keep your colours clean. If you use light colours on top of dark colours, you will like mess up the tips quite quickly, but they can be cleaned by just wiping them on a clean piece of paper, and that should get all the darkness back off again. So when you're blending colours with the alcohol markers, it's helpful to know when they are still wet, which means they're still workable, because this will help you achieve a smoother colour blend. So you can do that by either using a light color and then a dark color and sort of quickening your hand motion so that you're meeting in the middle, or you can use a blender pen. Some packets of the alcohol markers will come with a blender pen, or it's something that you can buy separately. The blender pen is basically just clean, like colorless alcohol in a pen that you can use to blend between one color and the other. It sort of smudges the two. Sometimes that look can be nice, or sometimes it can just be nice to do it with two different colours. I tend to like to do the blends using a very, very pale colour over the top, because sometimes the alcohol, like just the blender pen, will make a little bit of a gap in your colour, so it'll be a little bit inconsistent, and I find you can get around this by using a really light colour to blend instead of using a colourless blender. So once I've got all the colours in on this drawing, it is time to start using my fine liners. So I'm using these Staedtler fine liners in a variety of different colours. They're nice because it means that I'm not having to use black outlines for everything. I do a lot where you can see I'm going backwards and forwards using two different types of grey, so a light grey, dark grey, instead of using black, and then just using the black to define the very boundaries of different areas. So here, where she's got the turnips on her head, I'm using the black pen to define the edge of one turnip and where it turns into the next turnip. I also like to go over the top of alcohol marker drawings with like a black pencil and use that to add some of the colour blends. This is partly because the alcohol markers don't come fine enough for my liking. So here, where I want a bit more definition around the eyes, I've used a coal erase pencil that I've sharpened down really fine to get those details in. The other reason that I tend to use it is because I just don't have the right range of colours. I think to really use alcohol markers effectively, you need billions of colours, which I just don't have. So especially with like rich browns, those kind of colours, I just don't have them in my kit. So I'll go around in a second and you'll see me darken up areas of drawing using coal erase pencils, because it means that I can achieve a much vibrant, deeper, richer tone than I could do just using the alcohol markers, simply just because I don't have them. And for me, this is my favourite part of a drawing, because I feel like this is when it all starts to really come together. when I'm adding in all the little bright details, I like to use a lot of these coloured lines and outlineless portions, so you can see like in the middles of the eyes, because I think it gives a brighter kind of look than if I was just, again, to do everything with black outline. So here I'm outlining the little daisies on her skirt with a green stadler, oh my god, a green fine liner pen, because it gives a little bit of definition without anything getting too dark. And then I'm going to go around in a second and use a white Posca pen to put the details in on the eyes. You can see, because it's a paint marker, it goes on really thick, which is one of the reasons why I love Poscas. And me being me, none of my artworks are ever finished without a little bit of gold embellishment, and in this case I'm going to be using my trusty Winsor & Newton gold metallic paint. If you have a look back to last month's video with the Tom Nook Tudor painting in watercolour, there's a big section towards the end where I talk in depth about using this metallic paint. The gist of it being to make sure you shake it often, and that keeps the colour nice and rich and the gold flecks nice and sharp and detailed. So I hope you've enjoyed this quick foray into how I like to use alcohol markers. I know they can be a bit of a mysterious subject. I personally only just got into using them in the last couple of years. And again, I am going to put up a Q&A section relating to this video. So if you are at ink tier or over, there will be a possibility to ask me questions on technique and even give you a little bit of feedback on your own work. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the Q&A. Bye.